Hello, and if you tuned into my last week's video, I built a website using the Avato theme builder. This week we're going to look at securing that website with iTheme security. It's one of the more popular plugins out there for WordPress, and it's simple and easy to use for the beginners. So if you're new to my channel, I'm Jim from Seomarketeer. I do tutorials on web development and social media marketing. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button so you'll get notified next time I put out content. I try to put out content at least once a week. Sometimes I'm not always that devoted, but sometimes it's more depending on my capability or output. So here we are today. I'm going to start you off with showing you how to install it, the plugin from the WordPress platform, as well as how to configure it and what comes within the free version, which I'll be demonstrating today, and what you don't get, which you'd get in the pro version. If you stay to the end of this video, I'll give you some additional tips on security, a couple other ways to secure your website, because it's not always about one single plugin. Sometimes it's multiples, and other methodologies around securing your website. So let's get started here with the iTheme security. Here we are at the WordPress dashboard. I'm assuming most of you are familiar with this, so we're going to go down to plugins. Then we're going to install new plugins, so add new. In the search menu down here, we're going to type in iTheme. It should pop up. So here's the iTheme security plugin. It's formerly known as WP Security. So I guess they rebranded it for sake of making it sound a little better. But so here we go, install it. Then we're going to activate it. Okay, then once you activate it, you're going to come down. It's going to show down here under securities. So we go down to, or you can click on settings here. But for sake of this, we're going to go down to here. We're going to do a security check first. So here we go, secure site. If you could scroll down, this is where it's actually very user-friendly, because it'll run a check on the website, and it'll tell you actually what's enabled and what's not enabled. So it'll do this. So it supports site SSL, redirects on the page. I don't think I currently have SSL enabled on this, but I could show you how to do that, or you can go see it in my other video, like I had mentioned earlier. So here, here's within this brute force, it's going to notify you. So that's the email address. So we're going to activate that. We could, well, let's just go here. We'll just do activate this. And now you're going to it'll show you all the things it goes through. So it's going to go, it did identify remote, strong password enforcement. So these are all the things that are secured. You can run a secure check again, and hopefully everything should come back green. So, okay, we're going to close out of this now, and then it's going to come back to your dashboard. So here you have two different fields of view if you want to look at it. So if you like the thumbnails or the bigger buttons, you can see all the security check, the global settings, and notification setting. Over here you have the ability to look at all of them, the recommended or just the advanced modules. If you scroll down, it's going to show you what's included in the standard, which is everything that's not grayed out. Everything that's grayed out here only comes in the pro version. So if you want, you can go check out the website, and there is a pro version of this, which they give you additional things. So if you go up to here on the top left, you can either search for a module. If you go to the top left, you can click on this, and it'll put it into a list view, opposed to if you don't want all the big buttons and you just want everything here. Now, everything's just organized in some random fashion for some reason. They didn't seem like they put it in alphabetical order or anything. Maybe they put it in some order of what they feel is more important than other things. But if we go back to the main one, now you'll see that everything's pretty much enabled. So these are all the things. If you want to go, you could do show details. and it's the security check. If you want to go to configuration, on the global settings, you can go configure site. And these are all the things you could do: write the files, host lockout. I'm not going to go through all these, but these are the messages that'll come back if someone tries to do something illegal. If you want to customize them and change them maybe a little bit more to what you're looking to do. But like I said, this is basically geared more towards the beginner. So it's probably safe just to leave everything alone unless you have some messages you prefer to put in there. And it'll ban repeat offenders, how many times before it actually bans them if you want to change it, because you have people that are trying to log in that are users, and you say at three times maybe is not enough. And the ban periods, you could leave it 7 as default, but you might want it further out, or you might want it lower depending on what you feel is appropriate for this. So like I said, you can scroll through all these things. I'm not going to read them all. And let's close out of this now. Okay, this is the one which these are the blue things here that aren't enabled actually. So there's 404 detection, which is probably always good to enable this one. Away mode. Now, if you want to go, you can click on the learn. It'll teach you what away mode is. So if you want to go in here, it tells you basically it's if you have certain times of day which you want to block people. So you could block out admin logins. Say if I'm only going to log in between 8 and 5, and I'm never going to log in any other time. I don't recommend probably putting this mode in place, because this is one of those things where if you lock yourself out and you need to get into your website, you won't be able to do it because you'll be blocked as well. So it's not like something you could say only specific people. I believe it's only, it would be everybody. So it's probably not good. And here's another one, file change detection. Like I said, you could look at this. So you basically can enable this, and it'd probably be easy. Let's just enable it, because I'm going to show you what it actually does. So then if you go enable it, then you go into config settings here, and these are the file changes. So if you want to detect what files are being changed, you can get notified on this. So you could add these in these, or you could, I guess these are what are in there. If you want any of these, because you have other folks managing your website, and maybe you don't want to get notified every time somebody logs in to a specific file, you could put them in the exclusion list. And you could, as well as you could ignore these types of files. So if you have other people adding content to your website and the notification get to be a bit much, so you want to block out. See, I allow people to upload videos or whatnot. You might want to ignore certain file types and allow them to do it, or you might want to exclude them from this list, right? So you will be notified if anybody does try to change any of these file types. So like I said, I did enable that one, but if you go down to here, you can manage different user groups. So you got your authors, subscribers, and you can actually add features to that, which is always kind of clever to do. So you could secure these things. Like I said, by default, everything is in here. So it requires a strong password, which is always good practice. So subscriber users as well. So I think it's going to apply that to all the users. But you might want to say that I want subscribers to be able to just use a simple password, because I'm not really concerned if they get hacked, right? But some people don't like to have complicated passwords for the users. They want to make it a little bit user-friendly for their contributors, or their, or everyone else even, right, for that matter. You could add, or you can create your own group here. So that's always good to do. Like I said, 404 detection. Is permanently banned. So a lot of times you'll see from a security practice, people trying to target sites or broken links. So these might be reasons for you to actually, block people out or ban them from the site if they're trying to access broken links or things that would pop up with a 404 page. So it's always good to know, right? Like I said, we've covered away mode a bit. You could configure blocked IP. So if there are any banned people you do want to manually go in and ban, you could enable the ban list, or I think it's a default hacker list. So they're actually looking at the set of IP addresses that they're actually blocking from their databases. Here we go, database backup. So you can do a database backup. If you want to do this through this plugin, you can do it. If not, you can, if you're already backing up your site, you might want to disable this, or, back up the full database, like I said. So it's always good to back up your site, and that's one of the key things. It's nice to know you can actually do it through this. File detections we've already covered. File permissions, you could load file permissions. So your local brute force protection, here you can go into here, and your same thing, it's going to give you band settings. So that's one good thing about the iTheme security plugin, is it does have really good brute force protection, and it has network brute force as well. So like I said, password required. You configure these settings and enable this. So you make sure users have to log into the website. WordPress Salts, you could change WordPress Salts if you want. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all these in great detail on what everything is, because it would be a very long video. For the most part, all these things are enabled by default, and it's what iThemes is good at, about enabling things that you actually need to enable straight away. So system tweaks is always another good one to enable. So if you go into here, you can see system files, protect the files, long URLs, disabled, PHP uploads. So each one of these, like I said, if you go into these, they'll give you a description of what they've actually do. And like I said, I can say what to do in one site, but it's not going to maybe be ideal for your site. So you'll have to go in and actually look at what's best for you and your blog or e-commerce or whatever site you're actually trying to protect. So like I said, some of these, you get disable directory browsing if you want to do that for some reason. Filter request methods, protect system files. So like I said, these are all the clever things and the tweaks that you can actually look at. And then there's the actual WordPress tweaks here as well. These are advanced settings, like I said, as well. So you can remove Windows Live Writer headings and all these other kind of clever things. For the most part, XML, RPC is always good. So they'll say this is enabled on your site. Disabled is, I think, highly recommended if Jetpack. So there's certain things that you might need to change if you are using anything and this plugin does interfere with something else you might be running on your website. So multiple authentication attempts, you're blocking, REST APIs. This is a recommended restriction. So like I said, you can go through, and this is kind of cool that you could actually go in and tweak some of the little elements to fix your website. So you might want to enable these and make sure everything's still working, and then disable some of these things if it does affect your site. So like I said, so now logs is where you'd actually see logs if you actually had an entry or not. So if you go get Pro Theme, you'll see how much it actually costs if you actually want to go through and pay for the plugin. So some good stuff on here on the paid version. So if we go here we go. It's so if you're just a simple blogger, it's $80 per year. For a small business, $127. And if you want unlimited sites as a developer, it would be $199. So these are it's not overly expensive, but if we go back down here now, let's cover off some of the things you don't get, right? So you get the magic links is in the pro version, site scanning, scheduling. So if you actually want to do a scan of your site every day, privilege escalations, reCAPTCHA on the website, setting import and export, backup of the sites for quicker setup. Two-factor authentication is only available on the Pro, which a lot of people are starting to look towards. Use security checks. This is kind of an interesting one. The overall security, see how it might affect your security taken and when it's needed. User logging, version management, passwordless logins is also another thing. I believe the one thing about in the free version here was one thing you're not getting is malware scanning. So malware scanning is always critical on your website too. So there's I'm going to show you another plugin in a minute on that one. So I think that's it for iTheme security for today. If you like that, please make sure you hit that like button down below. So as I promised here, let's talk about a few other ways to secure your website. So first off, you should always back up your website. That's critical to security, for the reason that if you ever get compromised, you have a restore point to go back to. That's point number one. Point number two would be SSL certification. So you should always have an SSL certification on your website. And I did put out a video on that and the importance of SSL. So it's not just about securing the websites, but it's actually giving the users the comfort of knowing that the site is secure, that they're actually browsing. And here, number 3 point is I have an additional plugin I'd like to just walk you through really quick. It'll be just a quick overview. If you want to see more details, it's the WP Server security plugin. It complements the iTheme security, because the iTheme security, if you're going to use the free version, doesn't come with things like malware scanning, which the Server security plugin actually offers some level of malware protection. And let me get started and I'll show you that a little bit. Server security is another anti-malware, and you can install it the same way and activate it. I already have it installed already, so I can show you. So it'll show up on the left again. Comes in a dashboard. This is pretty intuitive as a plugin, but you actually, you can go read more about this. I'm not going to do a video on this. If you do want to see it, leave a comment below, and I will do a full video on this itself. But it's pretty, it's nice. It's got a dashboard. It's all tabulated across the top on the dashboard, so you can see activities and let's get rid of this. So you can see activities and sessions. So lockouts, and then you can see that I'm logged in right here. There's access list. You could probably use this as a plugin, but it's not as secure as something like the iTheme security plugin that I showed you, or WordFence. But it's pretty good because it does have the ability down here to do, if you go down to the site integrity, you can actually do a malware scan. Now in the free version of this, I don't believe you can use the cleanup. Cleanup, I think, is only in the paid version. So yeah, you'll see these features, but you can actually do a scan, and if you can detect whether or not. So if we do a quick start scan here, it'll scan all the files on your computer, and it'll let you know if there is any malware or any critical systems, which is always good to run in the same respect, right, as the other one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative to you and helped you out on your website. Like I said, this is mostly geared towards beginners and user-friendly people. So if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and notifications below. And I'll go over a little bit more in detail on the Server plugin if you want to see that as well. So thanks for joining, and until next time.